problems are a major concern as the body grows older, right? Because nothing in the world comes just with advantages. There are advantages to something, there are disadvantages too, right? So for example, the erect spine of human beings is definitely very useful, as it is extremely beneficial and advantageous to have an erect spine, which human beings have. But that very erect spine comes with disadvantages too, because the gravitational force is constantly working on it, which ultimately makes the spine get compressed as the body grows older. The muscles that support the vertebral column, those muscles become weaker, and that causes the compression of the spine, because it's vertical, right? It starts getting compressed, and that compression it causes problems, like it causes pinching of the spinal nerves. Spinal nerves are nerves that stick out of the vertebral column. So those nerves start getting pinched, or there is something known as the intervertebral disc, which is what is present between two vertebrae, that starts sticking out, and that also causes a pinching pain in the spinal nerves. It's also known as herniated intervertebral disc. So all these problems happen because of the weakening of the muscles that support the vertebral column. I've already spoken about the Tantric version of Vajrasan, which is extremely useful for strengthening the spine. You can check out the video link of Tantric Vajrasan is in the description below. You can check that out. If you see all the things that I've spoken about, all the practices that I've spoken about, they are working on the base, the foundation of your body, right? Namely the legs, the hips, the hip joints, the lower lumbar spine. So all these things are getting, like, right from class number 1 to class number 8. That is what I have been working on. Now it's time to move a bit further towards the upper parts of the body, namely the thoracic region, the shoulders, the arms, right? The neck. This is how we are progressing. We started with the base, foundation, which is the legs and the hips and the lumbar region. And we are slowly moving up. We are slowly trying to develop the structure of the body from the base towards the top of the head. That will simultaneously also develop the endocrine glands corresponding to those different structures, right? Right from the lower endocrine glands, we are slowly moving up and developing the upper endocrine glands as we move up and develop upper structures of the body. Finally we reach the pineal gland, which when developed will ensure that your body remains healthy as long as you're alive. I have already spoken about the pineal gland and its relationship with meditation and yoga. You can check out that video. That video link is also in the description below, the video on meditation. So this is what we are doing. So we are now slowly starting to move up. So that brings me to the topic of this video, which is class number 9, Utkata Vajrasan. Utkat meaning the difficult. Utkata Vajrasan basically means the difficult Vajrasan, the difficult thunderbolt or diamond pose. So this is me assuming that you've already reached a stage where you can at least practice the Tantric version of Vajrasan. Utkata Vajrasan is basically taking that one step further. You're going to basically sit, you're going to keep the legs blocked in the Vajrasan position, and then you're going to slowly lie down on your back and with the hands behind your head. And you're going to lie down in that posture for a few seconds, for 30 seconds, and that will be Utkata Vajrasan. This will help your spine greatly, because, as I said, it's the compression of the spine that causes back problems or back pain, right? So as you can see in this posture, Utkata Vajrasan, Vajrasan itself is going to strengthen the spine, and then in this posture, we're going a bit further. We are going to stretch the spine. This will not just develop the lower structure of your body, will slowly start opening up the upper structure, the thoracic region and the shoulder region, the chest region of your body. So, but before we do this posture, which is Utkata Vajrasan, we need to obviously do certain preparatory practices, and that is what we are going to look at initially. So, in the first preparatory practice, what we are doing is we are going to sit in Vajrasan, in the Tantric Vajrasan. Then, what we are going to do is we are going to bring the palms together and stretch the spine, like in the Vajrasan position. We are going to stretch the spine upwards by bringing both the palms up and above the head and bringing them together. Make sure that when you bring the palms together, do not interlock the thumb like this. You should keep the thumb apart and you should use the muscles of the shoulders to stretch the spine as upwards as possible while maintaining the Vajrasan position. This is the first preparatory practice. Then the second thing that you can do is in this position, while keeping the spine as straight as possible, you slowly start bending at the hip joint and try to bring the chest close to the thighs and the chin. In my case, you can see that the chest is touching the thighs and the chin is touching the knee joints while being in this position. Make sure that when you're bending in front like this, the spine is as straight as possible and also the hips should not come off the floor. You do this 4 times, maintain for as long as you can. And then you can do this while holding the elbows also. You can hold the opposite elbow, stretch the shoulders up like this, and then bend down as much as possible. The main thing over here is the main practice that you're supposed to do. That some people might not be able to do the bending forward thing, but what you can do is you can keep stretching the spine up while keeping the palms together and keeping it over the head. So this is the preparatory, these 2 things, like for stretching the spine up and then for bending at the hip joint, bending forward at the hip joint, trying to keep the spine as straight as possible. These are the 2 preparatory practices that you do initially. This will strengthen the torso region, as in when you maintain this posture with Vajrasan. This will strengthen the torso region, it will stretch the spine, and then it will also create the necessary mobility required in the back to go on and do the Utkata Vajrasan. So for the Utkata Vajrasan, what you're going to do is you're going to first place the palm behind the legs like this. Place the palm, then fold one elbow first and then the other elbow first, and then bring the shoulders close to the floor. Then you're going to place the right palm on the left shoulder blade and the left palm will be on the right palm and the elbows will be together like this behind the head. Both the elbows should be behind the head and they should be overlapping. Both the elbows should be overlapping. As you can see, this is the position. Place the palm on the left shoulder blade and then other palm will be on top of the first palm. Elbows overlapping like this. And then you maintain this Utkata Vajrasan position. Main thing over here is while you're maintaining it, both the knees should remain touching the floor. They should not come up. That is the main thing that you're going to do over here. And secondly, what you can do is the breathing is abdominal breathing, and you can observe in the posture that this breathing is more like the pattern of breathing is more like a fish coming out of the water and trying to breathe. The fish-like breathing, especially when the fish comes out of the water, that is the pattern of breathing that you need to follow, and it should be abdominal breathing. You can see that in the posture. Maintain this for 30 seconds and do it 4 times. This obviously you'll not be able to do straight away. So for that, I've already spoken about the preparatory practices. And initially, you can at least bring the elbow down on the floor, if not go down completely behind. So this is Utkata Vajrasan. This will help in developing the spine as well as developing the upper parts of the body, so that you can basically make sure that the spine never becomes weak, and also the compression that happens, the back problems, especially the back pain that happens because of the compression of the spine, will be completely avoided if you practice this. So this was Utkata Vajrasan. It's class number 9. I hope you were able to follow what I said, and I'll see you in the next week.